I want to talk about the military inventing a jetpack.
Cool.
And dude, by the way, I didn't look at yours ahead of time. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I know I say this every time.
I kind of actually rather that you wouldn't, because then we get your
raw
actual
opinion
and reaction to it.
But then I can't do loads of research ahead of time and then pretend that I know it all.
And then make me look bad because I do less research than you.
That's true.
No.
That's true. You're onto my master plan. Military invented a jetpack. Okay, so this one is definitely worth opening the link on. Open that rocket belt.
The wiki. Ooh.
See, even in the little preview picture, it looks cool.
Bell rocket belt.
Anyone? I know we're an audio podcast, but okay. So essentially, this is an actual jetpack which the military made, and we're looking at. I want to describe it as if you imagine the jetpack from. You must have played the Grand Theft Auto games, right?
Well, yeah.
Or James Bond's. Anything like this. This is exactly what you would imagine a jetpack like, and it's so super cool. And also from GTA San Andreas. Did you play that game?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
And there's the jetpack. It looks exactly like that. I mean, we'll get into why it's crap.
Do you know? I've got a bit of a thing about this. I'm surprised the jetpack has not been created better and quicker, and more controllable.
Why do you think it should be?
Because, all right, I'll tell you why. Because I used to be a gardener. And being a gardener,
dude, I feel like you've done every job in the world.
No, being a gardener, I used to use a blower, a big backpack blower.
Okay,
and it was enough. If you had two of them, you could very easily have pretty much lifted yourself off the floor. Like it's proper.
Yeah, but they're plugged in.
Strong stuff. No, they're not. They're petrol blown, and they blow for like 40 minutes. So if you were to tighten up the output, and so that it's a thinner tube, so that it's moving faster down, like a kind of jet style, if you know what I mean, then you could even do a little like injection in like fuel injection there, and then set it alight, and you get a nice little flame.
Have you heard of the YouTuber Colin Furze?
Colin Firth?
No, Colin. Is it Fuse or Furze? I can't remember.
I'm not sure. No, maybe.
He makes these.
Okay.
Like, he's the kind of dude who he will hear about this and he'll go out to his garage and he'll just make it.
Colin, mate, come do this.
It's crazy. I love. He's like been doing this for 10 years or something, and he's made all these crazy things. I just load up his YouTube channel because he's pretty amazing.
Are we gonna get blocked for going into his YouTube? Not blocked.
No. He's a YouTuber. You don't get jammed. It's all the stupid
pushing YouTube,
music companies and stuff. YouTubers are like, thank you for, like, if someone shows this and takes this clip and puts it on their channel saying like, I saw this, I'd be like, thank you. I appreciate it. This guy, Colin Furze.
All right.
Yeah, so he makes like a spinning belt of knives. He makes a homemade hover bike.
It's quite impressive. You see? Okay, homemade hover bike. That is exactly what we're talking about. That properly hovers. That is off the floor, and that will be made out of blowers. Like, I'm almost 100% certain. Here you go. He's got an engine in a bumper car which uses, it looks like it's sorry, no, that's not, but like hovercrafts.
Yeah.
Same concept. Except hovercrafts use like an outside belt bit, and instead of focusing it all on one point. So if you were to have 4 points that you have this mega strong blower pointing down with maybe a bit of injection fuel, bang, shub, bada boom, shada bing, and you are flying on a jetpack. I think it's easy. I think it's a letdown that it has not been done quicker. It's a letdown that it's not been done faster. And
look, Sam,
makes me angry.
You've got it all done in your head. It's not like we're talking about something that can't be made. You should start your own Colin
jet cart. Look at that jet cart. Just imagine that. Okay, so
yeah, but it's touching the ground.
Yes, but if it was inverted so that the jet was facing
then
downwards,
it would still just touch the ground. It wouldn't fly.
Yes, it would.
I just don't think the energy's there. Look, if you could just go to like the DIY store and buy 2 leaf blowers and a piece of plywood and strap them to your back and set them off, I don't think that's going to work. Look, I don't know how much these things are. But if you want to go and do this, I'll put some budget into that.
Okay.
If it's less than $1,000, I'll give you $1,000 to go and build that shit.
Oh my god!
Because I think it would be great pod.
I will look into it.
But you gotta bring me if you can bring me a thing that says I think this will work, and you want to go and risk your life doing this, I'll give you some money to go and build that shit for the podcast. And then we could go do a live.
I'll look into it. We'll do a live thing with your gimbal.
All right, that'll be fun. Cool. Okay, good. I'm excited now.
I've become a new handyman. This is my thing at the moment.
Yeah.
Did I tell you I fixed
a
the microwave?
Just buy them. You ordered parts from China.
No, okay. I ordered parts from China for $3, which the same part for that actual company. If you go onto that company's website, they I'm not going to mention the company because they're thieves. But if you go onto their website, the same motor that I ordered for $2 is €35.
If it's fact, you can mention the company.
$35. I can't remember the company's name. They're Euro something. But I went on. I ordered this thing from China. It came 3 weeks. Beautiful. I had to flip the microwave upside down. I had to cut into it. I had to take out the motor.
Just buy a microwave. It's like £20.
It's not. This is a good microwave.
Hang on. And just as an extra point, you haven't even said, this isn't your flat. It's not your microwave.
No,
it's your landlord's microwave.
But I was like, there's no point in buying a 20, 30, 50 pound microwave if I can just flip it over and replace the motor. Like,
all right.
I'm firmly of the opinion that we should be reusing and fixing stuff.
I'm firmly of the opinion of too much time. I stayed in an Airbnb in London. It was one of those buildings, I feel this way about new builds generally.
Okay.
It's a big apartment building. It was close to Excel Centre. I was there for a conference. And it was one of these new builds, but it was about 15 years old. So it kind of looks okay. It would have looked really cool 15 years ago, sort of glass and balconies and stuff. But it was one of those places, like you go in and there's like 2 lifts and one lift just isn't working. And I was there for a week. And I just thought, I'm sure they're fixing it. And then you got the distinct impression that lift has just been given up on. Like, there's just one lift serving the whole building now. And this is a nice, it's a nice part of town. It seems like the building's nice. I'm sure this place cost a fortune, but nothing works anymore. And you go into the kitchen and it's all these built-in appliances like you're describing. And it's like, so there's a built-in coffee maker and there's a built-in microwave, and sitting on the counter is a microwave and a coffee maker because they broke and you can't really... no one repairs stuff. So, to your point, I think we should. But I'm not going to. I'm going to buy a new one because I don't have time to
waste
ordering parts from China and
I
finding
quite enjoyed
shit
it.
down.
I did stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning doing it, but it was...
Dude, I can't stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning. I got work and shit. You got work.
Yeah.
You got a job.
It was Christmas. It was
Okay.
Christmas. I had time.
No, to be fair, I'm just being a dick. I know this is. I would probably enjoy this myself, but yeah, and you can't repair all this stuff, and so it's just anyway.
Anyway,
I want to talk about jetpacks.
Jetpacks.
Man.
Let's go
Come
for
on.
jetpacks. Sorry,
Okay,
yeah.
we haven't even got one line into this.
No, we haven't. All right,
but we are going to cut. If you can do those leaf blurs, I don't think so. Proved me wrong. Colin Furs me wrong. Okay, so I think jetpacks are cool. We're on the same page about that. I don't know why I needed to put that in my notes.
No, I don't think anyone.
No one's going to disagree.
Yeah.
They were originally made back in the 1960s, right? And they were fueled with hydrogen peroxide. What do you know hydrogen peroxide for? Teenagers dyeing their hair.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
You could
peroxide
put
your hair,
cool
tips,
frosted tips. The most 90s.
I think I could use some
of
frosted
hairstyles.
tips. I used to be properly blonde.
What?
Yeah, properly blonde.
Do you go blonde when you go in the sun?
I actually don't. It's really annoying.
Huh.
My dark-haired older brother, who had way darker hair than me as a kid, goes blonde in the sun.
What?
And I don't anymore. I think I've just been away from the sun for so long.
Wow.
Terrible.
It's
Quite sad, actually.
It's kind of strange. So it's fueled with super concentrated hydrogen peroxide, which I was trying to read about it, but it was really chemistry-ish and I got bored. But apparently there's some unstable bond, which makes it really good for being a dense fuel or something, whatever. But as you can imagine, there were a few problems. Back in the day, right? Because now we've got they had gyroscopes and stuff, but computer stabilization and things like this. Like Iron Man and stuff. The computer does most of the work. It's not real.
Keep things steady and...
But yeah, exactly. So, or the Eurofighter Typhoon is a great example of this. It's a fighter jet that is designed to be unstable. And then, so it can be super maneuverable. And then there's a powerful computer on board, which does thousands of calculations a second, just keeping the thing stable. If the computer fails, it's going to fall out of the sky. So it's designed to be unstable and the computer stabilizes it. But back in the 1960s, we couldn't really go put a supercomputer into a jetpack because, it's the 1960s. Also, dude, just go back to the dock. I didn't expect us to go off topic on this one so much, so I actually
Have you actually forgotten what's going on?
No. I actually put in a specific off-topic thing because it's glorious. Have you seen this?
Which one? Where are we?
The Human Steadicam. It's in capital letters.
Okay.
Oh, I forget this is a audio podcast as well. But just load up this. It's an amazing GIF. It's basically a dude who's been described as a human Steadicam, and what we're looking at is just a guy who manages to keep his head perfectly still and can move around his body. And so his head in the frame is still, and he can he's moving around his hands, he's moving around his
I
body.
don't think I want to watch this. It makes me
Dude,
feel a bit
it's super
sick.
creepy, right?
That's
So
I mean, a great bit of dancing, but that's creepy.
it's pretty impressive, right? And he just has this kind of like scary or like completely neutral expression. I guess because he's concentrating quite a lot.
That's horrible. I mean, very impressive. All right, so
It's impressive though, right? I think about this way too much. I saw this years ago. The number of times I think about the human Steadicam. I don't know why. Do you ever have those things that you're like, oh yeah, I don't know why that comes up in my life so much.
it just like pops up again.
Yeah, it just pops up in my mind. The human Steadicam, like super weird. I don't know. It's like
You're halfway there.
I'd like to learn how to do that someday.
You're halfway there.
It's a completely pointless skill.
God.
Like juggling.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get back to jetpacks. So eventually, it was really hard to learn how to fly them because there was no stabilization. One dude got really good at it. It's not like Iron Man at all, though. And he, the military kind of got into it, and they did a test. It was the 60s, President Kennedy, and they do this thing like they go to the White House and they show it off, and he does like something like he jumps from one place to this other place on the White House lawn. He goes over a river onto the White House lawn or something. It was pretty cool. But the problem was, which I think is going to be a problem with your wind blower machine, is even this thing, it could only do 21 seconds. That was the longest flight that they ever did. Because in order to keep this man in the air, that 21 seconds would use 5 gallons of fuel, which is 19 liters. So basically, it's using about 1 liter of hydrogen peroxide fuel per second.
Oof, that's a lot.
Yeah, because it takes a lot of energy to keep someone in the air.
And I don't suppose hydrogen peroxide is cheap.
I don't know.
I don't know, but I
There's
don't
a
suppose
super
it is.
concentrated version. I mean, they're probably not just going to like the chemists or the drugstore and buying like hydrogen peroxide from making frosted tips.
I've always found it's incredible how much fuel is used like with flight, like so planes and things like that, because you don't realize like all the wings and everything are all just full of fuel because they need to put it somewhere, and there's so much fuel gets burned, but actually there must be so much fuel on the plane.
Yeah, all the wings, like you say, the wings are full of fuel. Yeah, and they have to dump it out sometimes. If like they have to, is it if they land early or I don't know.
I think it's if they
or they burn it off. Normally they'll burn it off, and then sometimes if they need to get rid of it quickly, they'll dump it.
Or is it they're calculating going, we don't have enough fuel to get this weight to a destination, so we have to get rid of some fuel?
No, I think it's like, okay, so we'll carry excess fuel in case there's some sort of emergency. And then if they have to land early, they don't want to land with fuel in the plane or something. Okay. I don't know. I can't speak. I haven't looked into this at all. So maybe we can add
Pilot
that to...
Pilot Simon. Do we have a pilot listening? If there's a pilot listening,
let us know. We can talk about that in the future. Why? I'll just make a note. Why do planes dump fuel? Okay. Then, there were lots of cool demonstrations, by the way. So just go back to the
And did these
dock.
Demonstrations work? Were they successful?
Check it out, dude. And this continued for a while. Just while you're loading that up, I'll say that they... basically, the military didn't use it, but they'd use it for like cool shows and stuff and sporting events and all this sort of stuff. Just turn the volume down on that because I'm feeling it's going to deafen us.
Right.
Yeah, not all the way down though.
That is so...
Films and television shows was the Bell Textron rocket belt.
That's quite impressive.
Cool, right? So there's just dudes flying around.
Of course, it's there for the football. Or the
versions of
the
flying
football.
machine are thrust-driven devices that can literally make a person fly.
I think if I had to pick a favourite thing that is believable, that I would love to have, I think it's the rocket pack.
Okay, just stop this. So
Isn't that interesting that they... Oh, okay.
Yes.
007. I was going to say, isn't it interesting that they're using it at like an English person in a very, very American documentary about jetpacks?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Wait, was he English?
Well, he's English.
Go back.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about
Of course
that.
he was.
Is believable, that I would love to have.
No, sorry. I thought you meant the
Believable
narrator.
that I'd love to have.
No, I thought you meant the narrator.
No.
The guy being interviewed. Excuse me. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, no, I'm good.
Frog in the throat?
Frog in the throat. Just too much talking, man.
Forever.
Which is weird because it's what I do for a living. Okay, so skip down because it gets absurd. This is the final part of jetpacks. Enough jetpack banter. No, don't close it. The final section. The R800 rocket belt. Zoom in on that. There it is. Just up. No. There. See, RB2000 rocket belt. Zoom in on that. So basically, I read this, so I'll just summarize it. Is some guys wanted to reinvent, they wanted to bring back the rocket belt like the which is what this thing was called, but it's, we know it's a jetpack. They're like, let's bring it back. So these dudes get together. One's like a businessman, one's an engineer. And then one of them runs off with a jetpack. So he runs off and he hides it somewhere.
Why didn't he fly off?
Because he could only go for 20 seconds. They're like, there he is, get him!
Get him!
So they fly off with this. He doesn't fly off, bloody hell. He runs off with this thing. And then, so the guy sues him, takes him to court and be like, my business partner ran off with this invention we made, this jetpack. And the courts are like, give it back to him. And he's like, no. So the guy kidnaps him, locks him in a box for 7 days.
What?
Yeah. So he fully kidnaps him.
Who's now got the legal upper ground?
The other guy, because that guy goes to prison for like 7 years.
What? Jeez, that's pretty
Was
bad,
it 7 years? It was a really long time. 8 years.
8 years.
He served an 8-year sentence. Stanley was arrested in 2002 for the kidnapping and served an 8-year sentence. The rocket belt was never found. And then they made a movie about it, which I thought sounded pretty good, but it gets 20% on Rotten Tomatoes, so then I thought I'd give it a miss. But it's got that Paul Giamatti guy from Billions in, who I think is fantastic.
He is fantastic. He's a very underrated actor. He's the kind of person that he's in loads of stuff, but he's never the guy. He's never
the guy in Billions.
Is he the guy? Oh, I've not even watched Billions. I hear Billions is good though.
Yeah,
I've heard Billions. Handmaid's Tale is very good apparently at the moment.
Handmaid's Tale's good, dude. Handmaid's Tale got way too intense. I stopped watching Handmaid's Tale because I couldn't take it.
I read the book. I've not seen the show at all.
Yeah, it's good.
The book was good.
I haven't read the
Good
book. 'Cause I'm
Margaret
not
Atwood.
cultured. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So I haven't seen the movie, but I'd see it because that guy's in it. Maybe.
So that's pretty intense. So moral of the story: don't kidnap anyone.
Dude, don't kidnap people.
Doesn't matter how much you hate them, how much they've stolen from you.
Don't be thinking that just because the court said you could take the rocket belt back, don't kidnap someone and lock them in a box. Although 8 years does feel pretty intense.
Does it?
No, you're right.